G'day ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. So in today's video, we're going to introduce a new daily. Is it that reflector down there? Is it that tree there? Or is it that 1995 EF Falcon over there? Well, it's the tree, guys. Of course, it's this beautiful, beautiful 1995 Ford EF Falcon Futura that we picked up for about, I've had it for a week and a half now. Oh, about nearly 2 weeks actually, because actually no, 2 weeks to the day. Oh my God, what am I thinking of? 2 weeks to the day I've had it. I know you've got a million questions. Mark, you have 11 cars now. Why so many? Why do you need another one? You had 10, why do you need more? Well, the answer to that question is, why the fuck not? So I purchased this car off a friend of mine. I've actually been looking for one. I've been looking for something like another AU or an EF or even a VS Commodore, something just a bit bigger. So a lot of you know that I daily a 1999 Hyundai XL or Sexl if you want to call it. And that's a great car, but for where I live up near the country now, so I do a lot of long distance driving now. I need something bigger, you know, with cruise control, and something that doesn't get blown across 3 lanes of the freeway when a B-double goes past me. I've been on the hunt for one, and they have just gone up in price so much, guys. They have skyrocketed. They have just, I've been struggling to find one for under 3 grand with Rego. But luckily, a mate of mine was selling this. So the story behind this was my buddy Matisse bought this from a 87-year-old who had it since new. And he had it for about 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and then ended up buying a Patrol. So he literally has had it for barely any time. As you can tell, it's been chopped in the rear, it's sacked in the rear. And you probably heard in the opening of the video that it's got a lock diff in it. So I literally messaged him and said, hey, do you want to sell it? And he goes, yes, I will sell it dirt cheap. And I said, sweet. So got a really good price and also got it with Rego, which was a big plus, big tick. So I love the color. I love the way these cars look. I've had a massive soft spot for these things. Always have had a massive soft spot for these cars. So first of all, I'll give you a good look around. It's probably a bit dusty because the road to come in here is all dirt road, but really clean. It's really clean. I'll show you the damage. There's a couple of damage spots I got to repair on it, but she's pretty clean nonetheless. I'm really happy with her, and it drives like a freaking dream. You can tell an 87-year-old owned it. It's got all the books and stuff inside, and from all the service history and all that shit like that. It's just, yeah, it's a really clean car, and it's really fun to drive. So first we'll get into the exterior, work our way into the interior, engine bay, that stuff. I'll tell you what works, what doesn't work, and then at the end I'll tell you how much I paid for it, and then we'll go for a bit of a drive, cruise around. So first of all, yeah, so my mate had it for a couple of weeks. He's already chopped the rear springs. It's got a lock diff in it, so he welded the diff and put these Venetians on. And you can't, I don't know if you can see on camera, but there's actually sparkles when the sun hits it. So he's put like a sparkle clear coat on it. So you can tell when the young blokes get to these cars. Yeah, so first of all, we'll go over the cosmetics. So it's got like a little scratch here on the side I can touch up. The car itself, the paint is immaculate. There's no fade. So I'm gonna give it a nice cut just to get it a bit more deeper. The window tint here is a bit bubbly, so I've got to peel that off and retint the car. Now the biggest damage is at the front. It's had like a tow bar go through it or something at the front here, so I've got to repair this. So right there, it's had a tow bar go through it, or something, I don't know, maybe something off the back of a ute or something. I'm gonna try and repair that. If not, I'll just try and find another bumper bar. It's got brand new, looks like it's got brand new headlights and corner lights in it. This guard's munted. I think when my buddy owned it, his mate reversed into it or something, I can't remember. But yeah, it's a bit knackered, this guard, so I got to get a new guard. But the rest of the car is immaculate. The mirrors here are taped around. I haven't even untaped them to see what the problem is. So they do flop around a bit, so I've got to attend to that. Other than that, not really much, guys. The paint on the back of the wing's faded, so I've got to paint that. At least it's just the wing and not the boot or the roof or anything, so that's easy to fix. Yeah, as you can see, it's a Futura. It's a 95 EF, and yeah, it's pretty, like the whole car is there. All the toolkits in there, the boot, the full size spare, so you can tell an 87-year-old owned it. So as far as cosmetics, like it's pretty sweet. It's got the interceptors on it. Looks sick. I really like the way this thing looks. It actually gets a bit of looks too. Like a lot of the bogans love it. Now the biggest thing that sold me on this car was the engine bay and the interior. So I'll get into the interior now and I'll show you why I like this car so much. Now I haven't given it a vacuum in the last 2 weeks, but it's a bit dirty, but it's actually really clean in here. Very clean. The big thing is the staples on the headlining to hold it up. That's very common. It's just, yeah, it's just completely untouched. As you can see, it's still got like the old mats, the old wog-like mats in there. This car is equipped with cruise control and everything, and you know, air conditioning. It all works. It's fucking awesome. For the price I paid, it's luxury. We'll have a sit in it. As far as interior goes, the only thing that doesn't work is the horn, so I need to attend to that. And the passenger window doesn't work, so it could be anything. Could be a switch, could be actuator, could be something. So driver's one works. That's all I care about at the moment. Let me flick the ignition on for you, show you how many Ks she's got. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. It's 232,000. So she's pretty low. A lot of the cars I was looking at, quite expensive, or past 300,000. And you know, these mighty Intex, they go forever, but these do have problems with head gaskets. getting to that point, let's open the engine bay and have a looky-loo. So yeah, this is one of the biggest things I loved about this car, was the bay. Yeah, it's just fucking immaculate. It's actually got a brand new cylinder head on it. I don't know if you can see down there, the head, it looks brand new. So that's good. These things are very common for the head gaskets and the heads to go. So I think they fixed that issue when they went to the AUs. But yeah, it's very, very clean. And this engine purrs like a kitten. So I'll start it up so you can hear it. It's fucking beautiful. He also sold it to me with some blast pipes, so I might even change the rear muffler on it. Purrs like a kitten. It has a tiny bit of lifter tick. They're common, very, very common. But yeah, obviously still stock exhaust, it's dead quiet. So when I got this car, I thoroughly tested the weldy on it. And the best thing about it is it just makes no noise because the car's quite exhaust and the tyres on the back are at like 50 psi. So it makes no noise when you're trying to give it a good skate. When I do park it, it does leave a little bit of a couple of drips of oil, so I've got to figure out where they're coming from. No biggie. I still got to get a roadworthy on it and get it in my name, but that's easy. That's a piece of piss. I used to work at a roadworthy place, so he's pretty lenient with what I do. So I just got to jack the arse end up, put the oh, by the way, old owner of it gave me a whole rear diff, so they're literally disc to disc rear diff from one of these, so I literally got to swap it all over. Oh, another big thing, I just completely forgot about this. Another big thing is the rear, I think it's the rear left axle. When you get off the throttle, it goes like a tick, 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 very gently. So I think that rear left axle's flogged, or wheel bearing or something. But lucky we got a whole nother axle and whole assembly to put in the back of this thing. Yeah, that's like mechanically the only thing I can think that's like really wrong with it. Like everything else is fucking spot on. Like I went for a massive drive to Lansfield on the weekend, and you know, I drove over 2 hours cruising at cruise control on it, just fucking like a boat, float like a Cadillac, sting like a Beamer. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this car. You know, like I know you're gonna be asking, what are your plans with it? You know, I'm gonna do no less, no more. I just want to daily it. When I get it in my name, I'll drop the rear end and I'll drop the front end, just get it nice and low. Leave it on the Scepters, leave the Venetians on it, just make it a big grandpa spec, tint the windows a bit darker, and literally just drive it the way it is. Because it's just, for what it is, this car is really, really fun. I do enjoy it, even though these cars were, you know, $300 with rego back in the day, and people just fucking throw them out left, right and center. Every time I go to the wreckers, they're always there. It's starting to go up a bit, you know, it's starting to go up in value and that, and they're becoming budget drifters. And these and the AUs, you know, I prefer the looks of these cars. I reckon they look fantastic. These and VSs are my two favorites. That's why I was looking for a Commodore and this, but I prefer the inline 6 over the V6. That's just me. As much as I do like the 3.8s, you're never late. So yeah guys, that's pretty much a tour of this car. I'm gonna head back to my mother's house now and go work on the Track AU Falcon. So we'll take this down there and we'll go have a look. I'll put you in the suction cup and we'll go for a bit of a drive in it. There you are guys, we're recording. Let's go for a drive. Oh, you can hear that weldy. It's such a fucking sick. Oh, I'm such a bogan. All right. Yeah, driving it, comfortable, you know, just so relaxing. I literally drive this home from work or whatever and I'm just like, cruise like couch, you know. There's some rattles, but I think it's the coins. Yeah, it's the coins in this coin tray that's rattling around, but other than that, you know, it's pretty spot on. No unnecessary, you know, knocks or squeaks. I think it needs ball joints. I think it does, because sometimes when you go over the rough surfaces on the road, you get a bit of a little knock in the front. So the old owner's got brand new ball joints for it, so I'll replace those before I get the roadworthy. The good thing is, because I bought it off my mate, he just told me to take my time to transfer it, so he doesn't give a shit. He'll even extend the rego for me. So if I haven't got everything done by the time the rego's due, then he just said no worries, like take your time, which is good. That's why I like buying cars off friends, because they trust you, and I'm the same. Love you Matisse, I know you're watching. I'm going to shut up for a second because I'm going downhill and I want to see if on camera you can hear the rear axle knocking. So listen. So I can only just hear it. I don't know if it comes on camera, but yeah, there's a little knock in the rear left, so I think that's an axle just from the diff being locked. So now we're cruising on the road. I've got a little squeak in the front. I've actually just that's new. Little squeak in the front. She's got some balls too. Like I put it in normal mode and. It actually fucking rips this thing. Alright guys, with that I'm going to meet you guys back at the house, and we'll go see the AU and this thing and all the Falcons that I own. Now I know a lot of you that follow me for the VL and that probably saying, Mark, what's with the Fords now? What's with the Falcons? You know, I don't know, I just sort of like this era of the Fords, you know, the AUs, the EFs, the ELs, even the EAs and EDs, I love that era. But it's the same as Commodores. I love the VS era, I love the VY. VY is my favourite Holden, without a doubt. VYSS is my favourite. So I like them both. I don't really, you know, like one more than the other, but I don't know, this really appealed to me more with the straight six, and just, I like the looks. You know, the VSs, I like the VSs because, you know, my mum had a SS back in 1996, and it had the red pinstripe, similar colour to this, had the red pinstripe around it. I fucking loved it. So yeah, without further ado, I'm gonna drive, go get some fuel, go get some lunch, and then we'll see you at the house. Well guys, we made it back home, and there's the mighty AU in there. Can't show you too much of her because we've done a lot to her, and that's gonna be coming up in the next video. Here's the other AU there with the Macca's Cup on it, and here's the beast. So I thought I'd end this video here, and I know you guys have hung around to ask me how much should I pay for this car. With today's market, I thought I got a really good deal. I know a lot of you are going to say, hey Mark, I paid 300 bucks of rego for one of these back in 2012, but times have changed. So I ended up getting this for 1,400 with rego, so I was pretty happy with that. Excuse me, 1,400 with rego. Yeah, like I was saying, online, you know, to find one with rego, you can still find them for around $1,000 here and there, but God, they get snapped up so quickly, and usually never this clean. I got a bit of work to do on it. Just got to tidy her up and that, so I'll probably do a bit of filming on her. But other than that, you know, it's just a cool little car to drive around in, and just nice, and yeah, it's neat. I like it. Well guys, thank you so much for hanging around and watching, and hope you like the new car, the new daily, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.